Wow. Greetings to you viewers, wherever you're watching us from. This is a Honorable TV program that is brought to your living room, to your Android, to your everything. Be part of what is going to happen today, because we're going to discuss with somebody that has made IFAKO politics proud over the years. My name is Prince Will Awa. I shall be your anchor today on this program. I want to ask that you stay with us, enjoy all the things that we're going to do today, because in the next few months, of course, 2023 will be played back now. Stay with us as I go on this break. When I return, I shall be introducing a personality to talk with today.
You get sense, so it's not why I send you. Chai, what be this? If you do this again, which kind of country where man picking live so?
Abba, not be so now. You self know, say God bless this country with plenty resources, food, oil, everything day. Now only if our leaders feel use them well, and we say we help them, work hard, talk better about this country, Nigeria. Things go better. Now only good people can make a great nation, and now from you it will start.
All right, welcome back to this segment. Right before we go on that break, I do remember telling us that we shall be speaking with a personality that has made IFAKO politics very proud over the years. I shall be speaking today with Prince Kamoru Adekunle. Of course, we call him Brasco in this environment. He shall be letting us know his political interests and what he's going to do to make IFAKO better, given the chance to be the chairman of this local government. Good to have you on this program, sir.
Thank you very much.
All right, sir. Let's just get to meet our Brasco.
We thank God for His mercy. My names are Kamoru Adekunle Sunmonu, popularly called Brasco, Amuba Rentals.
All right, sir.
Yeah.
Your early days, upbringing, academics, and the rest of them, do you have it in IFAKO here or in Lagos State generally?
By the special grace of God, a better percentage of my academics is done here in IFAKO and IJAIYE in particular.
Okay.
I started my elementary school in precisely about 40 years ago. I started my primary school at UNA Primary School, IJAIYE. I remember finishing my primary school in 1979, and I went to IJAIYE Grammar School. IJAIYE Grammar School is also in IJAIYE here, within IFAKO local government. After my secondary education, I was unable to secure admission immediately into the higher institution of learning. But peradventure, after about 2 years, precisely in 1987, I was admitted into the Polytechnic Calabar to study statistics and mathematics. By the special grace of God, I was one of the best students in my department. I finished with an upper credit in statistics in 1990. However, as we are all aware, any Polytechnic student must go through 1 year compulsory industrial attachments. I was able to secure my 1 year industrial attachment with an arm of NLC, that is an arm of Nigeria Labour Congress, which is the Civil Service Technical Workers Union of Nigeria then. I don't know what name they are bearing now, but then it used to be addressed as Civil Service Technical Workers Union of Nigeria, led by the General Secretary, Comrade Ezoz Ejiofor. I went through his tutelage for the 1 year industrial attachment.
All right, sir.
Yes. Thereafter, after my 1 year industrial attachment, I was due to go back for my HND, which I was lucky to have my HND done at the Yaba College of Technology, Yaba, where I graduated in 1993 as an HND holder. I finished with a lower credit because of my student unionism activity in school.
Okay, was it still under the statistics and mathematics?
Still statistics and mathematics. You know, it is not always easy to cross
over to something very strange.
Yes, very strange. That will not be continuous, definitely, except you want to start all over again. So I had to finish with the course I started with statistics and mathematics.
In 1993?
In 1993. peradventure, with luck, a stroke of luck, and with my activity in school. In my year of graduation, the student union government was proscribed, so we did not have student union government. But I was the president of the National Association of Statistics Students, Yaba College of Technology chapter. Because of so many issues that students do have when they are on campus, and we don't have student union, the heads of academic association came together as a body, and by virtue of my position as the president of the National Association of Statistics Students, yes, Yaba Tech chapter, I became one of the student body that will come together to represent the students while negotiating or discussing issues with the management. Blessed memories of our rector then, Dr. Philip Adekunle. He was a gentleman. He was a gentleman. In fact, a core gentleman. He used to listen to us very, very well. However, I was able to become the secretary of the student government. That is the academic association heads during that period. And so we had a turbulent time in school. There are so many problems. As usual, we all know what could be happening. And if you remember 1993 very well, that was the year of MKO Abiola, Hope, yes, 93. Hope 93. So our students were so much involved, and I was involved too. So that was how, just to cut the interview short. So you are now addressed as a mathematician or statistician, or how will you be addressed if you were to work at the time? Definitely, I am addressed then as a statistician. Okay, statistician. Because even where I served, I was lucky to be posted to Central Bank of Nigeria. Wow, where I did my youth corps. Okay. I was in the research department. Okay. Price statistics section. It's all right. So, by virtue of my study in school and the activity in research department, I was a very useful tool to the Central Bank of Nigeria. At that time? Yes. Now, but what actually led you into politics, coming from the statistic department, as it were, to politics? What really led you to politics? Like I said, I went through the tutelage of people like Comrade SOZ Ejiofor, a renowned unionist in Nigeria. While I was doing my 1 year industrial attachment with them, I understand how they fight for the interest of the masses, how they talk to the government and make things happen for the betterment of the masses. So by that, the training I went through then has changed my orientation. Your academic orientation at the time? No, not my academic orientation. My orientation about life, generally. That you need to be your brother's keeper. There are times when the less privileged only needed just a little push. And if you are able to help them at that time, majority of the problem they are facing may not be there. So that was what really brought you to the limelight of politics, to become a community man. Because, you know, as the secretary of the academic association heads, we treated so many issues, ranging from no water on campus, dirtiness of the toilets, the cafeteria problem. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, the accommodation issue. You know, students do have a lot of issues with management in school. There are some statistics lecturers that will want to make sure they don't spoil somebody's year in school by way of extending the years, by failing them. So many issues that we have to treat. So that has now become part of me. At the time I finished my youth corps, and I was unable to secure a very good job, because then, you know, in this country, we have been suffering since time immemorial. At the time I finished my national service, I was thinking the central bank will employ me and retain me. In fairness to my boss, Dr. Mrs. Akonji, she was the deputy director of research department at the time. At that time, she wanted me on, but unfortunately, we don't have southern or western quota again. It is only the northern quota that was left for employment at that time. As far back as 1994. My service year was 1994-1995. At the time we finished, there was no quota for any other tribe except the northern quota. That was how I lost my opportunity of working with CBN. So, you know, when you are scrambling to get job, but fortunately for me, I got a contract job with some white people who came to Nigeria to study oil seeds. They call them Oil Seeds Association of Nigeria, OSAN. They came to study our oil seeds then. So I was involved in the activity. I was recommended by some of my bosses at CBN then that they should look for me when you see that young man is going to help you to do your research. I was with them for 9 months till the end of the research. After the research, I couldn't get the kind of job I wanted. So I ventured into entertainment. That was how I became an event manager. I was able to get some funds from my big uncle who is retired now from Guinness. That was how I started the rental business. I started the rental business in 1996. That rental business brought me closer to the downtrodden on the street. Because if they want to have birthday, they want to have naming ceremony, they want to have Fridua prayers, all sort of ceremonies, they need chairs, canopies, and tables. So, by virtue of the job I ventured into it now made me to become more relevant within the local people and the grassroots. Okay. So, by extension, the services I give them, some will say, my dear brother, please give me this service now. After I will come and pay. Some will pay half. You know, you understand. Because of that relationship I kept with them. I've been doing that business since 1996 up till this moment. And whatever I become today, it was that event management. However, you know, you asked me a question that, how did I find myself in politics? Yes. You could now discover that the role I played in school, while in the higher institution, as the president of the student body and as the secretary of the academic association, it has become part of me to be part of people's life, to relate with them, to help them solve problems where it is necessary, and to become part of them where we have to advise. So I eventually grew up just suddenly. You understand? By virtue of my involvement here and there. All right. That now led me to, what will I use the excess time I have during the day to do with my business? You know, most people believe that rental business or entertainment business is only weekend. It is not so. The entertainment business is an everyday occasion. It's an everyday thing. For example, in Yoruba land, if a child is born, for naming, the child must be named after 8 days, or on the 8th day, I mean. So if a child is born on Monday, definitely they are going to do the naming on Monday. And that's not weekend. That's not weekend. If a child is born on Wednesday, it will be done on the following Wednesday. Okay. If peradventure an elderly person dies in the Muslim religion, it is either the person is buried that day or the second day. I became part of their daily life. It's all right, sir. Because of my doggedness and my business interest and acumen, I became a community person. I have served at so many levels, at the CDA level, getting closer to people. I think I was about asking you, sir, at what point did you move to IFAKO as a local government to begin proper to function in that place? By the special grace of God. I am as old as IFAKO. Wow. I have been in this environment. By the special grace of God, I was 52 January this year. And I have lived in this environment for over 50 years. Because, like I said before, my primary school was here, in Iju here. Not just IFAKO, Iju here, where I am. Iju Shagade, UNA Primary School. My secondary school is Iju Grammar School. At far by here? It's at Old Akute Road Junction there, by Omonile Junction. So if my primary school and secondary school is here, so when will I come to IFAKO? I am already part of IFAKO because IFAKO was brought out from former Agege local government. Sure, you understand? Right. And you know that Agege and IFAKO were formerly part of Ikeja. You know, during the creation of local government and what have you, till we extended to where we are right now. Right. So I have been part of the system from the onset.
From the onset.
Yes.
Now, what has been your outstanding contributions to this local government growth from the onset?
Well, I would say I cannot completely measure what my contributions were. But peradventure, if I tell you what I've done at one time or the other, maybe you could be able to say, this is what I've done. First and foremost, if I am a grassroots person, by virtue of my birth, growth, and whatever, till this moment, and I'm still in Iju, definitely everything I have done in my life, I have used it to develop the local government. Right. My business is here. Here. My house is here. My family is here. So everything I have done so far, I have used it to develop IFAKO. Now to go further, I remember joining politics fully in 1997. And that was my first time I'm going to contest an election. My election under the defunct UNCP, I contested for the State House of Assembly in 1997. So which means between 1996 and 97, there would have been some grassroots work going on before we eventually matured to that level. So, and you know, in politics, there's no way you can say you want to play politics to that kind of a level where you start contesting without assisting people here and there. So if I want to say this is what I have done so many things from my business. All right. Is it people that are pregnant that they want to go to the hospital that they don't have even enough fund, or those that delivered and the husband is running around for money that we have to, Mr. Muba, please now come and help us now, this and that. So many, I cannot start mentioning. Are we talking about those whose children were sick and they were running around for little money just to buy drugs and what have you? In my own capacity, with the little I have, I've been able to assist. And when you talk about political parties, fine, we are the political gladiator here. And by the special grace of God, I have used what I have in my life as earnings to support grassroots politicking right from 1997. Let us not discuss 1993. Hope 1993, when Abiola was contesting for the presidency of this country. The students' activities were so much, and by virtue of my position as the secretary of an academic association head of the Yaba College of Technology, you could imagine what we would have done to support him. Having said this, those are part of the tutelage I went through to develop me to where I am today.
All right, yeah. And now today, there is this move, massive move from the inside to preside over the affairs of the Council of IFAKO IJAIYE. What does this mean to you?
Yeah, like I said, you know, it is a selfless service. When you want to serve your people, there is no amount of energy, money, and effort
that is too much.
That is too much to serve your people. Like I said, I've contested several elections, but I've never been lucky. And you know, they say winners don't quit and quitters don't win. You understand? And once your interest is in a particular thing, you continue to move from one level to the other to develop how you can come up and serve. That was what gingered me. For example, now, most of my elections I've contested, I wanted to be a legislator.
Okay.
I have
at the federal or the states?
Both federal and state. I've attempted it severally. Okay. But as I grow up, as the age comes up on me, you know, you get matured by the day. By the day, yes. I now discover that me, that I'm a man of the people, a community person, the best way I can help in serving them is still to be closer to them. And that was what changed my orientation, that look, for me to be able to really serve my people very well. You know, our understanding about democracy in the past is not what it is right now. A lot of people believe that once you are just there, you are just there for yourself. No, many of them are making mistakes, and that is the mistake we have made all over the years. Many a times we put round peg in square hole. Okay. We put square pegs in round holes. But you see, we have come of age. We need to put round peg in round hole, square peg in square holes, such that those who will put in position of authority will be people who can really deliver. It is not people who will get to position and their phone will be ringing, they won't be able to pick calls again. It shouldn't be people who will put in position, they will go far away and leave that environment. Wow. It is not good for us to put people in position, and when there are people at the grassroots needed them around, they say they are not available. We should put people that are always available. Because the local government is the tier of government that should be closer to the downtrodden.
But you seem to have quite a number of persons contesting this position. How do you look at the primaries?
Well, when you talk about primaries election,
because that is where a winner or the flag bearer of the political party will emerge.
Definitely, my brother. You see, this part you are talking about is the most delicate and dangerous part of politicking. But being that as it may, you know, if God does not crown you, there is no amount of effort you put that will be crowned. It is only those whom God wants to crown that He will crown. Let's put it as, let's not be about 100. It's just a seat there for just one of us. And we are now praying that by the special grace of God, the person that will occupy that seatness will be somebody that God has chosen. Now, when you talk about primary election, you see, most times, the modus operandi and the criteria and condition that surrounds the picking of candidates, they vary. As it were right now, the guidelines are yet to be out for the picking of the candidates. So everyone that is interested is coming on board to say, I want it, I want it. But I want to believe that our leaders will look inwards now. Because most of the times when candidates emerges and they are not part of the system from the onset, that is when the party members will suffer, the leaders will suffer, the community people will not enjoy the person on seat, and so many developmental projects that were supposed to be done will be sidetracked and sidelined. And in effect, it becomes a kind of a continuous issue that will be disturbing the good people of IFAKO local government. So if you say we are many now, it is true that we are many. There is what we call expression of interest. In this game. After expression of interest, we get to the level of a nomination form. If somebody expresses his or her interest that I'm interested, and it gets to the level of nomination form, the person cannot obtain form, automatically that person has knocked himself or herself out of contest. So it will now be only those who obtain the form that will be on the race.
All right, sir.
Yes.
Well, our viewers, we've been speaking with our brother, Prince Kamoru, aka Brasco. You've been listening to him for the past 10 to 15 minutes precisely. I will be proceeding on this break, and when I return, we will be talking on other German issues surrounding the move towards the next IFAKO election. Stay with us.
4 whole hours from my office to this house.
What sort of a distressing nation is this?
Oh, Dad, Nigeria is not distressing. Other nations experience traffic too. In school, we queue too. If people begin to change their orientation, as our leaders repair roads and expressways, we will all see a change. Remember, only good people can make a great nation, and it begins with you.
All right, welcome back. Yes, my prince, before we proceed on that break, we were still talking about IFAKO. Now, going back into the memory lane, what will be your scorecard to the outgoing chairman? And if you are lucky, which I suppose you will, at the primaries, what difference will you make in this local government in the next 4 years?
Yes, like I said before, you see, there is difference between a theorist and somebody who plays practical. Like I said, they say democracy is meant to be for the people. I mean, democracy is how do I put it? People who get involved in politics and who play politics, they are supposed to enjoy the dividend of democracy. People who are the subject of the officer at the council are supposed to enjoy the dividend from the government. Because democracy is the government of the people, for the people, by the people. Most times, if round pegs are not put in round holes, definitely there will be some lacuna. And once that lacuna is there, definitely that small error created by the lacuna will create a lot of problems at the end of the day, because it's going to be in the multiples.
But sometimes this lacuna seems to be inevitable. Even the people that are too close to the grassroots, lacuna normally comes in. What happens?
It is because the expectation of our people at times are more than what is available. Okay. But you see, even at that, if the expectations are more, try to be visible. Because most of them are sensible and they are very intelligent. If they can find it, because there is what we call communication breakdown. If you are supposed to give an answer or a reply to certain questions and you are not available to give response or answers to those questions, people will start insinuating. But if, for instance, you were supposed to be found in an office, at the time people wanted you, they found you there, you are able to respond to their yearnings. Even if what they wanted is not given to them, but from the fact that you are able to explain to them why certain things are not available or why this and that are not done, definitely they will be satisfied. Then they will now go forward by saying, what do we do? How do we get this thing solved? Then from the interactive session that you have with them, that lacuna will be out of it because they wanted to get response on certain issues. But because you were not found, they cannot assess you. They won't be able to get. But if they're able to get across to you, by the time you start interacting, those lacunas will be out of because already you are interacting, and they will be satisfied. Take for instance, let's look at it from this angle. Every individual wanted to feel the impact of the government in their area. How do they feel the impact of the government? Motorable roads, tarred roads, good drainages, beautiful and nice hospitals, good educational facilities, and the rest of it, which are the policy of the government of the day, which is APC. We are so concerned about people's education. We are so concerned about their health. We are also concerned about their welfare. And we are so concerned about so many things surrounding them. And that is the primary purpose of government to the people. But if you are the helm of affairs, whom people were supposed to meet in office, or who is supposed to give them your stewardship, maybe at a town hall meeting, or at a community meeting, at CDC meeting, or CDA meeting, and you are found wanting, please, how do they say this is our person, or this is our chairman, or we have enjoyed dividend of democracy? It will be completely difficult, my brother.
It's only time that will tell. But the scorecard on the outgoing chairman, and perhaps if God grants you victory, which I preempt into that victory, what will be your own contribution?
Well, I am not a lecturer who will be scoring people's marks.
Your assessment.
I am not an assessor who will be able to assess. You see, a position of authorities, most of the times, what people feel is there may be completely different from what you meet there when you get there.
All right, sir. What are your commendations? What are your commendations?
Sorry, don't cut me short there, because that is an important area. What you don't have, you can give.
All right.
The outgoing chairman, as far as I'm concerned, have done the best he could offer.
Okay.
Given the time frame and the opportunities he's having. Perhaps if you have more than these, in terms of opportunity and time, maybe you would have done more. But wherever is stopping at the time the election comes up and produces me, by the special grace of God, I will step into the shoes and continue from where it's stopping. Okay. Because government is a continuous thing. Nobody can finish the assignment there. You understand? If you say I should score him, my brother, as I've said earlier, I can't score him because he has done to the best of his ability. You understand? But if peradventure by the special grace of God, I am installed as the next council chairman that will take over from him, I have some areas that interest me especially, which I think I want to dwell more in. For example, look at IFAKO as a whole now. How many primary schools do we have? We have between 25 and 28. I don't want to be precise. Amongst these 25 to 28, how many classrooms are there? Are the classrooms there, are they all functional? Do they have furniture? Are the teachers enough? Do we have enough facility in school that will take care and cater for the students and the teachers? There are so many things that needed attention. If the chairman that is outgoing could not finish all, he would have done the best he can offer. Sorry. I will continue from there. That is on education. On the health issue, we have primary health centers. How many of them are very, very well equipped? They are equipped though. I'm not saying they are not equipped. Very, very well equipped. We will go a step further from where he is stopping to give more facilities. Okay. To where he's stopping.
A good one there.
Now, talk about welfare of the people. You know, you see, sometimes they will say, yes, I have done drainages. I have done roads. I have built houses. The people who will work on the drainages and on the streets, how is their welfare? Were they able to cry to you when they are in need? Do you provide opportunities for them? Were you able to meet them? Most times they say politicians are bad. Politicians are bad. They are the one talking bad about this and that person. Yes, people will talk. People who had expected you to do this, that, and that, or to benefit this, that, and that, and they were unable to benefit those things. However, there is no way somebody will be bad to the level that nobody will enjoy that person. But the problem we have is that if we continue to put the same person in position all the time, he's the one in this position now, he's the one in that position now, he's the one in that position after that time out. That person will only be dealing with the same set of people he has been dealing with, because that recycling will just be on a particular area. But if we give other people opportunity, they will be able to treat others too. Peradventure, look at our leader, national leader of APC. Okay. This is not part of the question, but the question that you asked me has driven me to that area. It's all right. He became the governor of Lagos State. But before then, he was a senator. At the time he was in office, he did not say he want to die there now. He did not say he want to leave governorship and go to the Senate. What did he do? He started looking at people, studying them. He brought Fashola after him. He brought Ambode after Fashola. He is now bringing Sanwo-Olu for us. Can you imagine? If he had been just one person, the same set of people will be recycled and will be the one enjoying the welfare and every other thing. We will just be within that circle. But look at the way it is now. To an extent, that thing has spread. And like what we all know about our leader, Bola Ahmed TINUBU, he has developed so many other leaders that can't be counted. All right. Across the globe, not just in Lagos.
All right. I think on that note, I want us to talk briefly on our leader, the APC leader. What is your take on his interest to contesting for 2023 presidential elections? Yes.
By the special grace of God, his heart desires will be granted. Do you know why I say so? This is a man that has single-handedly brought Buhari into power. General Buhari has contested the election severally and he has not made it. But ASIWAJU discovered him. He extended his hands of love. In fact, there was a video trending in the last 3, 4, 5 days when ASIWAJU was campaigning for Buhari, how a general is supposed to take care of us. When I was watching that video 2 days ago, I felt bad. Look at a man trying to project a fellow human being. What have they done to pay him in his goodwill? Rather, he built a house. After building the house, they now lock the gate. They now allow him to start knocking. Law of karma will catch up with them. I say it, law of karma will catch up with them. Because he who does good will always see goodness. Then he who does the other one, will receive the other one. As far as I'm concerned, ASIWAJU has all it takes to bring the glory of Nigeria back to where it's supposed to be. Do you want to talk about economic value of ASIWAJU? Do you want to talk about educational value of ASIWAJU? Do you want to talk about his morals? Or do you want to talk about his futuristic thinking about developing others? That is a man that I can say the government of APC today, ASIWAJU has contributed not less than 75 development and placement into that government.
Sorry, if it's not 80.
Okay, fine.
Because from findings, he has done beyond 75%.
I just want to be modest.
Okay.
I just want to be modest so that they don't say because he's his mentor, that is why he's saying he did it all. But the fact remains that the fact and figures are there. And when you really look inward, you will discover that this is a man that meant well for the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
All right. Let's come back to IFAKO IJAIYE.
Thank you.
If you were to give counsel or advice to the legislative arms of the outgoing, councillors, what will it be?
As it were, like I said,
no, this time there no scorecard.
Too many things are being expected of the councillors by the populace.
Okay.
And as a matter of fact, our legislators will have to carry the burden of what the local government should do. They are supposed to be lawmakers, and they are supposed to do some little oversight functions, as it were. But you see, a lot of us back at home still does not understand how the government runs. They want the councillor to do everything. How can you imagine that you want a councillor to do your drainage? You want a councillor to do your to tie your street? It is not their primary function. It is the duty of the council. And if the council does not have the wherewithal to do it, they should recommend same to state. The state is the larger body who will be able to take care of so many things. More so that the local government cannot operate on their own without recourse back to the state government for approval on major developmental projects. So in view of that, I will only say that the councillors that are outgoing, they are lucky to be in office in the first instance, because this thing is not compulsory say because you have contested you must win. It is only by luck and by grace. If God wants you to be there, you'll be there, and you only do the little you can. You cannot finish it all.
All right, thank you, Honorable. But before we proceed on this short break, because quite a number of persons, what they expect from those in government is money, favor. Give me this, give me that. I mean the people of individual local government. So what would be your advice to the people of IFAKO IJAIYE local government and to the party members at large who will only say that Brasco is now the chairman, I should go and get money, I should go and get this, without them beginning to form certain groups that will do one or two things to the development of the community if given a chance?
Yes, like I said before, you see, this question is coming in another way. You journalists, you have a way of putting words into somebody's mouth. But as a matter of fact, I trained too as a broadcast journalist, so I can understand what you wanted to get out of me. I will say it. You see, the issue is people want to enjoy the dividend of democracy. Be it that they want money, be it that they want one compensation or the other, they want to enjoy the dividend of democracy. And if they are not in need, my brother, they won't come closer to you that they want. It is because they are in need. Then if they are in need and they come to you and they can't find you, that is where the problem comes from. But if they are in need and they are able to find you, even if you are not able to solve their problem 100%, at least you will meet up with their problem to a certain level. And by the time you are able to meet them, talk to them, do the little you can do for them, they will have satisfaction. Then if at that point some of them does not have satisfaction, because it is not all of them that won't have satisfaction, there may be some of them that can be stubborn, that they are not still satisfied. By the time you have town hall meeting, community meeting, CDA meeting, CDC meeting, these are the projects I have done in the last 1 to 3 months. Let's assume the meeting or the briefing is quarterly. These are the things I've done. Even if anybody is talking at your back that what has he done? There will be some people that will say, okay, at the last CDC or CDA meeting,
he did this and that.
These are the things he told us he did, and we saw evidence. And these things that he said he did are things we can find out because it is our own domain. So with that, I think if by the special grace of God I'm installed as the next council chairman, my reign will be different from the others. Where they have stopped, I will continue and develop from there. I can't condemn anybody. You can only give what you have. What you don't have, you can't give.
All right, thank you, sir. We proceed on this break. We're going to play the jingle of Brasco on how it's going to develop IFAKO IJAIYE, given the chance to become the next chairman. Stay with us. Yeah, welcome back from that short break. Honorable,
Thank you.
The NSAS protest of October 2020 portrays this present government as betrayals. In view of that, are you seeing the APC capable of winning elections from the federal, the state, and the LG, as it were?
Well, most of the times I don't always want to comment on the NSAS thing because it was an unfortunate incident. And it was just like a play. It was just like a child's play. And it grew up to
metamorphosed into something.
It grew up to a monster that almost consumed Nigeria. But being that as it may, there were times when we need to have check and balances. The NSAS thing has brought us to another level of understanding of human and humanity. First and foremost, the orientation of the Nigerian police before NSAS is different from their orientation now. So NSAS to an extent is a corrective measure in some areas. The way we handled NSAS may not have been perfect. But one thing you should understand about NSAS is that nobody prepared for it. And we were only able to give the solution we can at that time it happened. Let's assume it was just like we are watching a movie. You know, if you are watching a movie, you just be assuming, is this thing real? Is it happening? That was how that thing started. Before the government started thinking of, okay, what is the way out? Whichever way the NSAS had turned out to be, it was a corrective measure in certain areas, and it has developed us to a level that when things start happening and messages are being passed across, that our leaders should be responsive almost immediately, such that that message that is going around will not become another monster that will almost consume us. So being that as it may, I want to say that NSAS may not likely affect 2023 from my own point of view. I may not know of others. Why do I say NSAS will not affect the 2023 elections? You know that government comes and goes. If this government of the day now has erred in some areas, I am not saying they have erred though. If it's a conditional statement. If they have erred in some areas, definitely it is going to be an experience and an experience for us, such that when we have such situation on hand at another time, we'll know how best to tackle it. But something that has never happened before, definitely it will be a teacher to you. But what has happened to you, you will be a teacher to that thing. Because experience, no matter how much you have, you cannot buy it. You acquire it over a period of time. And like they say, history has a way of saying this is the right direction. That NSAS thing has become an history in Nigeria, as it were today. And definitely from there, we have learned so many things. Take, for instance, the COVID-19. Do you know during COVID-19 palaver, people that has been eating fish, meat, and all sorts of things every day, for weeks they cannot afford to see it, talk less of buying it.
And they survive.
And they survived it. Since after that COVID-19, there were so many lessons we have learned about life. And same goes to what happened during the NSAS. Whichever way you want to interpret NSAS today, it has given some leverage of new knowledge and new dimension. Among all of the things he has done, one of it is very germane. The position of Nigerian police force before the NSAS is not their position today. The police position of government before NSAS is not their position today. Any small thing now, if they start hearing rumor, they will be responsive to it.
Because of the shifts.
Yes, now we have learned. It's a paradigm shift. It doesn't have to come from anywhere. It will just happen naturally, and which was what happened. So we have seen now that some of the time that we wait until that minute that things happen, we wouldn't wait again. Once there is a message coming and everybody is like queuing into that message, the government of the day must immediately checkmate and find solution to that issue. That is what I can say about it.
It's all right.
Interesting.
Thank you. You have said so many things there. Now, if successful by His grace, like you have said, if successful in the upcoming primaries of the party to pick one person, what plans or synergy with the councillors, the legislative arm of the people, what synergy plans do you have in place to ensure that you learn well?
By the special grace of God, I am not sure I will have problem with my councillors. Why do I say this? Because I'm a very good listener. In the first instance, we have different roles to play. I will never encroach on their role and their rights. I, Kamoru Sunmonu, will never encroach on their rights. And if for whatever reasons we had an agreement and that agreement is going to change, we are going to go back into a conference and discuss why that arrangement will change. And you see, like I said, if there is communication blackout between you and the others, definitely there will be problem. I will not allow any communication blackout to happen between me and my councillors because they are the legislators. And I will not do anything outside their knowledge. We will always do the normal processing of things. I cannot just say, okay, because I am the executive chairman, what we have not agreed upon, I will just be doing it. No, I won't give room for that. And what is due to them at every given point in time, God will provide us with opportunities to be able to give it, such that we don't have problem with each other, because we want to run the government as a family.
Okay.
And that is the kind of government I will want to run. I have been saddled with responsibilities before, so becoming the council chairman and running the council affairs will not be a problem to me. I was very, very young. I was in my late 30s when I became the People's Warden of St. John's Anglican Church. Before I even became the People's Warden, I was the Parish Administrative Secretary. And you know what that means? The People's Warden is the treasurer and a signatory. And it's fact, signatory number 1 in any Anglican communion setup. When they say People's Warden, is bestowed with a lot of responsibility and powers. And if by the grace of God, as a younger person, because if I remember very well, I became People's Warden in 2021. I became People's Warden in my church about 13 years ago. Okay. If you remove 13 from my age, I should be about 38, 39 when I became People's Warden. I was not up to 40. And I was able to manage the affairs of the church very, very well. At the time I was stepping down, I was asked to look for a successor. They did not bring me a successor. I stepped down on my own. I stepped down after 2 years because I was contesting an election in 2011 then. And there was no way I could combine the church work with politics. So they now told me that for me to step down, I must look for a successor. Do you know what it means?
Were you able to fill that gap for them?
I was able after rigorous exercise, but after 1 year. Because each time we try to put somebody, some of them say they cannot fit into the shoes.
Because they may err at some point. Yes,
now, because it's really a turbulent position that requires intelligence. Because when it's like you are managing this, you are managing the people in the church with the spiritual head. Because your signature is the only signature that can approve any expenditure. And you know, Anglican Church has a setup. And by the grace of God, I thank God that He was able to guide me. If I'm able to guide and perform as People's Warden in an Anglican church, a big setup, an archdeaconry seat, it's like a country on its own. because we have different tribes, different people, different characters, and what have you. I was able to manage them. And till today, by the time they want to do people's wording election, people always want my input that, Mr. Sunmonu, please, who do you think we should use? Take into consideration your experience when you were there. My brother, if I become the next council chairman by the special grace of God, the people of IFAKO's welfare will become a thing to envy from other local governments. Because the CDC and the CDA, we enjoy a lot of developmental projects within their local areas, within their streets and areas. My brother, the primary health care center of this local government will become a different thing. We almost become like a general hospital. Because why? There is a way we can dialogue with the manufacturers of drugs and what have you to give us drugs at rebate prices that we can supply into our primary health centers. Training upon training we go for our workers, both at the primary health center, the hospital environment, and the primary school teachers and what have you. We will upgrade everywhere. There are ways we can partner with business moguls around to turn around things. We have a lot of intellectuals and educated people in IFAKO.
Resident in IFAKO.
Yes, and I'm going to tap into that because I'm going to involve them. As somebody who has stayed for over 50 years in this environment, my childhood and everything is here. My brother, there is a vast land around us that belongs to Lagos State government, around here, inside the Lagos State Water Corporation. There are some of the areas that we can borrow and use for agriculture. That we can use for agriculture. We can spring up a beautiful piggery. We can spring up a beautiful fish farming environment.
It's all right.
Snailery and the rest of it.
All right.
There are lands that we can use.
It's all right. Thank you, because I know that you have quite enormous things on the list to talk about, but then I will not want other contestants to pick from what you have said.
Thank you very
to
much.
blend theirs. But as the APC deputy chairman of this local government, how encouraging is the membership registration like?
Thank you very much. You know, the registration exercise was turbulent. People, because of the situation of the economy, they develop a kind of apathy. They don't want to associate with us. But you see, because we know the future of the country is going to be better. Because, my brother, let me confess to you, the way it is right now, you cannot pinpoint that this is where the error is. You understand? The hardship in the economy is much. I see people struggle to meet up with their daily needs. So if you now encourage them, come and register. Some of them are even abusing us. But to the glory of God, we were able to register over 55,000 membership in IFAKO. In fact, precisely, I think we had a rough estimate of the registration exercise. However, the registration exercise did not close permanently. If anybody is interested tomorrow and wanting to join APC, all they need to do is to walk up to the secretariat of the party, meet the secretary, and they will register them. Because we cannot say because we have ended the registration, those who are interested, they should go to hell or they should go home. No, we will register them. Even if there are no pamphlets that are printed for us to register them, we will put them in a hardcover exercise book, and by the time we talk to our leaders at the state, they will release registration materials to us to put them as a member of the party. So to speak, at the helms of affairs of the party, on our own, we are trying our best to look into the welfare of the people and to associate with the residents of IFAKO local government, because they are very, very good people.
All right. Finally, we will not end this interview without you telling us, because during your introduction, you didn't tell us this. You're going to tell us briefly about your nuclear family and what would you like to be remembered for. Tell us about your wife. I know that there should be Madam somewhere, and let's just feel that groove as our next chairman in the council to be.
By the special grace of God, I am happily married. I have children. As it were, as of today, I have a daughter chartered accountant who is married, By extension, I am a grandfather as I'm sitting down.
Wow, viewers.
I'm a grandfather.
So our next chairman in IFAKO is a grandfather at 52.
I'm already a grandfather. She's a chartered accountant and she's doing well. I have other children that are thinking of going to professionalism in their studies. They're still waiting for admission. I am blessed with family, wife and children.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So what would you like to be remembered for?
I want to be remembered for my simplicity, which is now. And by the time I get into government, my simplicity now will still remain what it is. And as much as I am closer to the people right now, by the special grace of God, God will give me the will to still be closer to them while in office.
All right, sir. I want to thank you most sincerely for being a part of this interview, telling us some of the things you want to do to develop this council, giving the privilege to be the chairman. Your final word to our viewers on this segment.
Ladies and gentlemen and the good people of IFAKO local governments, I offer myself to serve you. It has been my thinking and my plan to serve the good people of IFAKO local government right since when I was a child. I have been struggling to hold one position or the other where I could be able to serve you very, very well since 1997. Up till date, I'm yet to be lucky to be in office. But thank God for the training I've passed through. I have passed through so many stages of training politically, administratively, and otherwise. And I want to believe with my wealth of experience and with the kind of business I do that has brought me closer to the people, if given the opportunity, which I am begging and I am appealing to you to give me all the support it requires to get me the nomination ticket, you will never regret having me as your next council chairman. Thank you and God bless you all.
Well, that is it, dear viewers. That's where we'll be drawing the curtain. You've heard Brasco speaking. Maybe the next interview we're going to have with him, God willing, will be the first 100 days of his being in the office as the chairman of IFAKO IJAIYE. God willing. Stay tuned till we meet again.
Amen.
Goodbye.
Thank you very much.